You guys, welcome to another episode of Glitter and Garbage. I'm Justine Marino, joined today by a Glitterati fave, a regular here on Glitter and Garbage, Lammy.
I was like, you're talking about the dog. Yay.
No, it's Daniel Webb and his new pupper.
New puppy. Look at that
Lammy.
dog. Look at
So
him.
cutie.
He is cute.
Oh my God, this is our first puppy. Obviously, we've had Blair, but we've never had a puppy.
Puppy guest.
Puppy guest.
It feels sacrilegious to do it behind Blair's back like this.
It does, but I totally left her. I was like, bye, mommy's going to play with a younger dog now.
Get that cougar vibe. He's too little. I keep telling boyfriend, I'm like, he's too little. Like, anytime I turn my back, he's going to choke and die.
Oh, yeah.
Like, every time. It was like he came trotting out of the bathroom. And immediately I clocked it. He had something in his mouth, and I thought it would just be like toilet paper or something weird, but it was a perfume taster. I was like, oh my God, you cannot. Or tester, I mean.
You cannot have
that. I was like, you're going to die. So, I can't even leave him for a second.
Okay, puppies are so much work.
Mm-hmm.
What kind is he?
So he's terrier chihuahua, but I think he's a lot of chihuahua.
Yeah. He's so cute.
He's super cute.
Yeah, he's really cute.
But he's rude. He needs to go to manners school.
Yeah, Blair was such a terror when I first got her. I got her when she was like 9 weeks old. She was like 3 pounds, and at my old apartment we had carpet, and she wasn't house trained, and I didn't realize you're not supposed to take them out on like walks until they're fully vaccinated.
Yes.
Because they can get parvo.
Totally.
So I was like, I didn't know when I got her that I would be like trapped in an apartment.
Yes.
And it was carpeted, and so like she would pee, and then the smell, and then she would keep peeing there because she smelled it, and like she was such a fucking psychopath terror. I literally. The first day called my mom, was like, I think I made a mistake.
Day one.
I was like, you might have to, you don't understand. I'm only child, no siblings, barely babysat. Like, I love dogs. They're cute. I grew up with dogs, but like my parents mostly took care of them. You know what I mean?
We had a golden retriever.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was the youngest. I had 2 parents and a sister, all who should be making the decisions before my dumb ass should. And looking back, it's like it was kind of an outside dog, you know? It was like not this.
Yeah.
And my dad got really kind of teary. I mean, this is in the 90s, but my dad recently got real teary-eyed. It's like, sometimes I think about that dog, and I don't think we treated her the best. I'm like, no, we didn't. I was like, y'all were the adults.
Yeah.
Like, she was not an inside dog.
Was outside.
I was like, yeah, that made me as a kid feel bad.
Yeah.
But, so now it's hilarious to have these dogs. I'm like, this dog is gonna piss and shit all over your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Get ready, because I love him.
Yeah.
So what did your mom say when you
My
called
mom
her?
was like, okay, I'll take her. I was like, you might have to take her. I was like telling my mom and my aunt, like, one of you might have to take her.
Wow.
And then like a day or two later, I had some friends over and we were watching the Grammys, and Blair fell asleep on my chest. She was literally like this big and just fell asleep. And I was like, I guess I'll keep her.
Yeah. But you also can't communicate with like that kind of puppy.
Yeah.
There's no communication.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And that is extra frustrating when they're like pissing on you and cute and like looking at you. You're like, stop everything.
Yeah, you're
stop everything.
Too much.
That's so funny you said you were watching the Grammys and had a moment. we watched Fargo last night.
Yes. Wait, movie, show. Okay.
Because boyfriend had never seen it.
So good.
And I knew it's a perfect film.
It's so great.
It truly is perfect. Just everything about it. And I'm not even like a crazy movie person, but like it is truly perfect. And I forgot how 90s it is. Like there's no this century anywhere near that movie, right? It's very like analog. But it was when one of the robbers enters the house that he like got scared and left the room. Oh. And I was like, how is he picking up on cinematic emotions?
Oh,
but
my
like,
God.
Because have you and your boyfriend or Mitch ever done where you pretend to be attacked to see if the dog saves you?
Oh, yeah, she doesn't do shit.
Same.
Yeah.
But if fucking William H. Macy comes on screen, he's terrified.
He's a star fucker.
He kind of is, but takes after his daddy.
Come on.
But no, I have like puppy brains.
I love it.
I'm like late
so
everywhere.
cute.
Every time I go to the grocery store, I forget everything.
Oh yeah.
But thank you. I interrupted you saying he's cute.
No, he's so cute. I just can't. His little tiny face.
I know.
I love him.
And I want his ears to go full. Because he looks like it's so cute.
He's so cute.
But I've been touring with Margaret Cho.
Yes.
And she famously has her tiny little white dog,
right.
Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been talking to Margaret about like wanting a dog and stuff. She's been with me putting my dog down and stuff.
Right,
Not
right,
with
right,
me physically, but like through it. And so I was like, this dog looks like her dog. Like this looks like the boy version of her dog, which is so single white female.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, I'm gonna show up on tour with my white dog, and then I'm gonna cut bangs and be like, hi, Margaret. But it's so fun.
It's so fun. It's so fun having a puppy. Also, your fit is so cute.
Oh, thank you. I am defiantly wearing black despite having a white dog.
I love it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's, boyfriend. It makes me look skater.
It's cool.
Skatery.
It's cool. We were talking before it officially started about like wearing clothes and like on the road.
Yeah.
Like if you have a uniform.
Totally.
You were saying Billy Corgan,
who I don't cite publicly without a huge amount of shame. But he was talking about, because remember he had like it said 0,
right?
And he wore it for a whole tour.
Yeah.
And then his bassist, which I love later, she had this thing where she'd wear a see-through tank top, which I think was Issey Miyake or some shit.
Yeah.
And then these glitter devil horns, and she looked like that every fucking night.
Yeah.
It looked like hell. I loved it. So it was like you dress like a superhero, not me, but like as a performer, and then you decide it before you go on tour, so you don't even have to think about, what am I going to look like tonight, or what am I going to wear? You just erase that problem from the dailies.
I've heard a lot of, I think, like, was it Steve Jobs? What's his name?
He's dead.
The Facebook guy.
oh, Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. I've heard that those big, like, billionaire people, like, they just have a uniform so that they don't have to spend any brain energy on that.
And see, here's my problem, is my brain energy is spent. By the time I get out the door, it's like, I need to make sure, is there a clearer upload of Designing Women on YouTube today? Is there, like, it's like, I need to make sure that Spectrum, my lawsuit with Spectrum is going through, which...
Wait, what?
I'm trying to sue them with because they called me a bunch. They like robo-called me like 19 times in one day.
Really? And you're trying to sue them?
Yes. You cannot do that. That is against the law. You cannot. If
Really?
If you owe $1 million, the person you owe $1 million to, they can only call you once.
Really?
A day. Yeah, they can't like fuck with you.
And you're sure it's really them? It's not like a scam?
Oh, I called. And they're like, it seems we're having a problem with it's just a glitch with our robo. I was like, y'all's end is glitched. My end is harassed.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm like, it's one of those like COVID leftovers where I'm like, let me get angry with someone on the phone.
Yes.
Which I hate that, but that's me.
Yeah, that's you. Watch out.
I know. Would you ever do telemarketing?
Would I ever?
Or did you?
Did I? I didn't, but I loved that documentary, Telemarketers.
Shut up.
Have you seen it?
No.
Watch it tonight. It's so good.
Oh, I don't know. I lived it.
It's so good. No, it's about them there's this amazing character named, I think, Patrick Pespas. Aaron, did you watch it?
Pespas?
It's Patrick J. Pespas, I believe.
I don't like that name.
No, but he's was a heroin addict when he was doing it. But then now he's like this triumphant character who's trying to fucking take these places down, and
because they're fraud.
We're fraud. Yeah. It's about how like basically the one that he worked for, it was all like criminals who had just gotten out.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Well, this is in the 90s because I'm old as shit, but
checking to see if that's his name.
It was when I worked in telemarketing, I was a teenager, and all I needed was money for concert tickets.
Of course.
In the 90s, they paid you like 15 or 20 bucks an hour, which then was fucking gold.
Right.
So but it's the first, all my managers were drug dealers. Every single one. That's where my 15-year-old friend scored her blow, which I thought was nuts. And that's also where I met some of the first trans people in my life, because that was, in a bad way, but the only places that would hire them.
Right.
Back in those days.
Right.
But I'm not associating the two. It was like you had these people who couldn't find work, and then you had all these people who just got out.
Right.
And couldn't find work. But everyone on my row, all their pupils were dilated. Yeah. Everybody's fucking high shit.
Yeah.
I had a man who I knew was selling cocaine to my teenage friend. We're all 15.
Yeah.
I knew he was the dealer. He has a tank top on. I can see his fucking gnarly pit hair.
Ugh.
And he ripped my crossword out from in front of me and goes, "You're doing crosswords while you're on the phone?" So I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm just waiting in between calls." He goes, "Do you respect this job?" I was like, "No." And then
no one does.
He reprimanded me and moved me to like a lower sales department because I said I didn't respect my job. Had I known then what I know now, I would have been like, "I know that you're dealing blow to an underage girl.
Right.
Go fuck yourself."
Wait, so like what was your spiel? Like Like, ring, ring. Let's do a little.
Hi, this is Daniel Webb with AT&T Long Distance. Can I speak to the decision maker in the household?
That's me.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, I would love to talk to you about the offer we're running in your area alone today, where you can call internationally for 99 cents a minute or nationally after 8 p.m. for 89 cents a minute. Do you make local calls mostly or long distance phone calls?
I make both. I love to chat.
What are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing.
See, you're not supposed to answer that. No, Justine, no. See? You failed perv telemarketing 101.
I'm so gullible. I'm so fucking gullible.
She goes, I'm wearing. You couldn't fucking
like,
wait to tell me.
That's so polite of him to ask. He knows I'm wearing a cute outfit.
So I felt guilty about calling people. I would hang up on them.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I saw it was because you see the name of the person you're calling.
Sure.
And it was Barbara Walters.
What?
But she was in like Ohio. But
but it wasn't.
Fucking for sure certain. I was like, it has to be.
There are no other
many
Barbara
Barbara
Walters.
are. But then I did one that was for water testing, which was, are you okay, puppy? Let's figure this out. It was we would call you on Saturday morning to try to sell you a bunch of bullshit water.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was just like trying to get like enough to get a scalped Tori Amos ticket for that summer.
Well,
is this an ASMR?
It is, guys. We're feeding the puppy. Oh, the puppy is going insane.
It's ASMR, but we can't afford to break it.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna break it. But look at the puppy. Okay, well, mentioning concerts and Tori Amos is a perfect segue into this next thing I want to talk about. I saw the Amy Winehouse movie.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's like Lifetime level.
It's it's a real like cinematic release, like theatrical
release. It is, but it's like the Whitney Houston one, which like I feel like both of them were. Look, don't get me wrong. The actresses are incredible. They're really good. They have beautiful voices.
Yeah.
But just it feels the tone and the like way it looks feels very like Lifetime compared to like the Freddie Mercury one, the Elton John one. Like
it's all lighting. You can't have cable lighting on a movie.
It's such cable lighting. Yeah. It's like bright lighting. Yes. It's just
Remember Hocus Pocus 2?
Yes.
Where first of all, the lighting is atrocious in the whole movie, but they spend like 3/4 of it in that CVS.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Remember? I think we've talked about this before.
Yes.
But I was like, what are we doing with this lighting?
Yeah.
We can't rewrite this to take place in like a dark lounge or some shit.
Especially like. Look, I'm 39 and I'm worried about lighting.
It's all.
You know what I mean?
It's all lighting from here.
Right.
I tell
it's
you.
all lighting
really
from here on out. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, honestly, I always love this podcast because I look great. But no, okay, so I can't handle a biopic of any kind. It makes me nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just someone pretending to be Amy Winehouse like for Halloween.
Yeah. No, it is true. And look, again, they're doing a good job. You know the one I'm really sad got scrapped? Is the Madonna one, because I think that one.
But who would play Madonna?
The fucking girl from Ozark, the blonde girl. What's her name?
Yeah.
What's her name again?
I don't fucking know. But
Garner, Julia Garner.
So my boyfriend chipped his tooth. It's now fixed.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, that's why we couldn't go to Kordansky.
Oh right.
But he had this gap tooth for a minute, and it was really working for him.
Oh, it was hot?
Like, yeah. I was
okay.
like, in one of the accidental ways you can find out, like, do I look good toothless? And
yeah.
I was like, he fucking did.
Great.
But he was giving me Madonna vibes this whole time.
Look, some people can pull off a gap. I personally had a huge gap between my two front teeth.
Really?
Because I sucked my thumb growing up.
Same.
My teeth were so fucked.
Yeah, mine kind of were too.
And like my jaw was misaligned.
It's because I sucked my thumb.
Oh yeah, my teeth. I mean, it looked like I could have had a whole nother tooth in there.
Whoa.
It was fucked up.
This kid I went to elementary school with and junior high with, but also he went to my church, so I knew him.
Yeah.
He is a nice person, whatever, but he sucked his thumb to like the age of 14.
Wow.
In public, which was crazy. So
that's insane.
I knew him growing up at church, right? So
right.
you'd see him in church, and the other thing was he'd hold the top of his nose like this.
Right. But
and talk to you like a normal person.
But also, like in church, you're like, well, he's safe. He's meditating.
Parents,
he's with his parents.
With his family, all that shit. And then lo and behold, when you go to junior high and like all the schools mesh, there he is in the passing period sucking his thumb.
Oh my God.
And I was like, man, I'm not worried about people finding out I'm gay. They got that target walking around. Like, they'll deal with him for the first few years. I'm going to coast.
That's so funny.
But I sucked my thumb too. I always wonder, I was like, is that why I'm attracted to like gay men and like wanting to suck dick?
Oh, you know what? I sucked a lot of dick in high school.
See, I always wondered if my like early horny fascination with that in particular was just like some weird hangover
like
from
oral
that.
thing.
And now I'm just a stand-up, so I get to assume the position all the
you're
time,
like,
right? Every picture of me looks like I'm going
really
on stage. Yeah. On stage. So yeah, I don't. Did you watch the Amy Winehouse documentary?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I liked Amy, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I had her album and everything, but I wasn't like a super fan obsessed. I forgot she died from alcohol.
She had like a seizure or
because
something,
she
right?
hadn't drank for a long time.
And she had withdrawal.
And then she drank really heavily.
Here's the problem, man. Once you quit, you gotta quit.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's over.
Yeah.
So many of my friends have gotten like, especially pills. If you ever did a bunch of pills and you quit, and you like take one more pill, watch out, because that's when the age shows up. Like that's when you look like wrecked.
Well, also I think it's because addiction, it's all progressive. So like if you are a horrible drunk or a horrible addict and you get
Who told you I was a horrible drunk?
But you get up to a certain tolerance.
It's called wet brain.
What, wet brain?
Yeah.
What is wet brain exactly?
It's where you're just fucking like, it takes like one lick of alcohol and you're hammered again.
Oh.
It's like you are so drunk and you drink all the time that you're just forever in like.
Sure. Well, this is like, I think if you quit and then pick it back up, it's not like you're starting from zero. You pick up where you left off and just get worse from there. You're not, it's not like you're starting like, I never drank ever. It's like you're picking up right where you left off.
That's great because I really loved being blackout. If I wanted to start drinking again, that was the best part about being a major alcoholic was like, you'd have one beer and be like, here we go.
Yeah. Here we go.
It was that. But then all of a sudden, when in sobriety, I'm not sober, but I'm not the fucking rager I used to be.
Yeah. Do you drink at all?
Man, I can't even like finish a beer.
Yeah, I don't.
Nor do I want to.
I don't either.
What's happening?
I haven't drank in like 4 years.
Yeah, it doesn't like, it used to really fit me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I realized that it just didn't and I was a mess and like all the shit. But I think it like kept me healthy in a weird way. It killed all the other germs.
Oh, sure.
That were like entering my body. So now I have like allergies and like I'm susceptible to the flu.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I used to just be some like, or maybe I was just drunk and didn't know I had the flu.
Yeah, you were just desensitized.
But things like watching Amy Winehouse, watching Ab Fab.
Oh, yeah.
Makes me want to fucking drink.
Yeah.
Fargo, they smoke.
Yeah.
Ab Fab, they smoke.
Wait, so you don't like any of the biopics, right? There is something a little bit cheesy about
it's
all of
all
it.
cheesy.
Yeah.
Ray, I was like, he's not blind. He is acting blind, which I know he's an actor, but I was like, that
it's funny because like as an actor and as someone who like puts out content and makes stuff and like creates my own stuff, like it's like sometimes I'll just be watching something and it'll be a really serious scene and I'm like, this is all fake. Like it's so stupid when you think about it.
It's like, have you ever been to Universal Studios and had the woman who plays like Lucy Ricardo come up and harass you, or like at Disneyland, right? When like not one of the plushies, but one of the actors.
Oh, believe me,
like,
when I got the tour guide job, I went in to try and be an actor, and they weren't hiring, so then I became a tour guide.
Wait, which actor did you want to be?
I was like, maybe I could be like a Marilyn or one of the people in the window or something.
Oh, yeah. I forget you worked there all the time.
I know. So I used to be friends with one of the Marilyns, actually.
Oh, see, Maryland would be a great job. I feel like that would be killer.
That would be
but
good.
Then all
but
these
like the
horny
Lucy
old men want
ones,
to come talk
or
to
like
you.
the Doc from fucking Back to the Future.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So let's talk. Okay, Lucy, for one instance, was like fucking Nicole Kidman. Did you watch that?
Yes. I'm sorry. I love Nicole is great, but like her in any period piece now, I don't buy it because her face is clearly she's had work on.
Her face is from this century.
It's from this century, and that's what's so hard. Like I've had friends who are actors get like crazy like breast implants or filler or whatever, and I'm like, you could never be in
can't look galactic.
Exactly, or you could never be in like a really old period piece. Like, what was the Viking movie that Nicole Kidman was in? The Northman.
Oh, I saw that shit.
I loved the Northman.
So did I.
It was so good
until
Nicole Kidman's face. I was like, we're not in the Viking era.
And then the other thing is, didn't they film that like in Iceland? So everyone has this very like Nordic, Arctic thing, except her. She's the one person.
She's just like taut and smooth.
It doesn't look right.
Yes.
I've auditioned for things, but I've also turned down stuff because you couldn't have your hair but like it had to be scissor cut. If it looked like something that was invented after that, you couldn't be hired for it.
Interesting.
Because that's how accurate they wanted to be. Oh yeah, that was it. They were doing, it was the Tom Hanks movie about the hospital that they took JFK to. I forget what it's called. But I was auditioning for that and I got turned away for my hair, like before I could like do the lines.
That's what I'm saying is like, as an actor, your face, don't you want to be able to like play and
use it?
It's a choice. So like maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to go in for like the hot mom roles or the like woman who cares about what she looks like roles. But
two things about like if you're playing someone who did you watch The New Look? It's where they play like Dior and Chanel.
Oh no,
in World War II.
No, but I haven't. It like keeps getting recommended. Is it good?
Okay, watch like the first 2 episodes and then leave it because it gets really stupid.
Okay,
but it is compelling. I did not know that they were like designing dresses for like Nazi glitterati back then. Because they were in France and that was their job and they were just trying to make their money and then it was that or get whatever. It's complicated.
Right.
And I can watch that because I don't have a fucking clue what Dior looks like. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what Chanel sounds like. None of that. So I can lose myself in Mary Stuart Masterson.
Of course.
Doing that. But when you're going to be fucking Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And all that bullshit. Like Elvis, right?
Yes.
Can't take it.
I couldn't take Oh my God. I couldn't.
The Elvis one is the worst. That's why Lisa Marie died.
See,
it ate her from the inside out.
See, I much preferred because everyone was like Austin Butler. He
killed it, but he killed it Universal Studios style.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is I've said this multiple times. Elvis is one of the most done impersonations.
Yeah.
You
ever
throw a rock in Las Vegas and you'll hit an Elvis impersonator. That is good too.
Yeah.
That makes their living being Elvis. So to me, did you see Priscilla?
No, but everybody's talking about it.
I much preferred that because Jacob Elordi wasn't, and look, whatever, we pit women against each other. I'm going to pit these two Elvises against each other. But
that's so good.
But to me, Jacob Elordi, I liked what he did so much better because it wasn't just an impression. It was more like he was embodying the character and letting it come through him rather than like doing a Universal Studios style impression.
Like just the hits, like the lines or the voice.
Yeah, totally.
That was the worst Elvis thing ever.
It was good. I guess not everyone can do
Elvis. You throw a rock and it fucking missed me by a mile. I'm like, but what about me? I have the lip. I can do Elvis lip.
Oh, that's good.
I can do that, but I can't do anything else. I could probably do a better Priscilla. Have you been to like Graceland or any of that?
No, I have you.
Yeah, it's in a rough part of town.
It
and all
is?
this shit. Yeah, it's so weird. My aunt, out of nowhere, at one Thanksgiving, we were talking about Elvis. She was like, "Oh, we saw Elvis like 5 times." I was like, "Excuse me,
really?"
What? She's like, "When was the first time you saw him?" She's like, "In like '58, I think." I was like, "You saw '50s Elvis?"
That's crazy.
He's so handsome.
Yeah,
and
so
like,
I mean,
that.
he was so hot.
He was very handsome.
Like those blue eyes.
Yeah, all
and
of
like,
it.
Oh my God.
Well, and he sounds dumb.
He does.
Which makes him hot.
So hot. I know.
That. But no, I can never watch. Like, I could watch a documentary, but I never believe that either. So if I'm watching you know what I mean? I'm like, this is someone else's. I did see Cyndi Lauper's new documentary.
I need to see it. How is it?
It was good. It was great. It was great. She has like a artistic struggle, but her story's really one of just success.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to minimize things that she's been through.
No,
but like her journey is really just kind of up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, this is like a greatest hits reel.
Yeah.
Versus like this
struggle,
hardcore,
sure,
whatever. Just
like an Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, Amy Winehouse was not popular to like. It was more popular to hate her than because of Perez Hilton and all that bullshit. She was a mess.
Right.
In media.
I forgot though from that movie. I forgot she was missing. She knocked her tooth out. She just didn't have a tooth for a bit.
Like, drunkenness?
Yeah.
I feel like this dog is gonna do something Amy Winehouse style.
Gosh.
Vomit on the carpet.
Such a cutie though.
No,
just
here.
like Amy. A little cutie. Wait, so did you see the Lucy movie?
Oh, so I'm like old school faggot. I'm obsessed with Lucille
No,
Ball.
I know.
So I know all the stuff. So I went to the theater like day 1 to see that shit.
And you were excited, and were you disappointed?
I'll tell you what made me so happy was the fucking wig.
Yeah.
I was like, because all these people, everyone's been Lucy forever. I'm like, the hardest thing about her is her hair.
Right.
And I'm like, her wig was so stellar. You're being such a bad dog. But yeah, I did. But I was too big of like a faggot to like take it seriously. Also, I was like, these are not historically accurate moments.
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
too
yeah.
nerd city to like want to fuck with it.
Yeah, that's what was nice about the Amy Winehouse one, is that I don't remember. It was so long ago, and it's not like a Britney Spears where I was like listening to her book. I remembered every single moment.
But you liked the Britney Spears because it was Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, wait.
Right?
Wait.
The Britney Spears audiobook?
Oh, yes. No, it was Michelle Williams.
Oh my God, I'm so racist. All those blonde white
all
ladies
the blonde,
look the
they
same.
all look the same. That's hilarious.
Go in your bag and go to sleep.
Scarlett Johansson.
It's not her?
It's not. It's Michelle Williams, but she was good. And but with the Amy Winehouse one, with the movie, if they didn't get stuff right, like I don't fucking know, you know?
Well, here's the thing. That's why I asked if you watched the documentary, because it's like her father was a fucking monster.
He was?
I think so.
Because he comes off as like her best friend in this.
Right, but
but it does seem like he enabled her quite a bit.
That's the problem, is the enabling. Like he made her career and he was there in like shining moments. But what was the bullshit thing about her at the Grammys that she like shits on Justin Timberlake and doesn't know she's on a hot mic?
Oh, they didn't show that.
It's for like album of the year, because she performed live on the Grammys from London.
Right. They do show that, but they just show the performance. They don't really show like.
I saw that live when she won the Grammy.
Really?
I remember thinking, oh my gosh, she has a beautiful voice. Mm-hmm. But seeing her very real reaction,
right?
Her kind of disbelief,
right?
Her emotional response to it all, was so human.
Yeah.
And when she never had a chance, she was just a cartoon.
Right.
Very much in the way that Courtney Love was never given a chance.
Right.
Because she's just this heroin addict that killed her husband.
Right.
Was all she was ever given. Not an actress, not a rock star or any of that. She was just treated like this addict that had a hand in her.
Well, she had that moment where she kind of cleaned up. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
After People versus Larry Flint. And she wore that beautiful, I think
Oscar
it was that.
de la Renta.
It was the white.
Isn't it Oscar de la Renta?
I think so. It's either that or Valentino.
Oh, shit. Actually, maybe, yeah.
And she had the blonde bob with bangs.
Killer.
And she looked amazing. And then something happened and she went back. She like reverted back.
And that's the sad thing, too, because like you can't go back to wearing baby doll dresses. It's
no,
like, that
you
has
can't.
To be a phase.
That has to be, need to be done.
You cannot eat the rest of those.
Wait, so Courtney Love, that'd be a fun one to do. Do you think she killed her?
No. She's talked a lot about the days leading up to it, and she owns up that there was like an intervention that was poorly timed and probably shouldn't have happened.
Right.
But she blames people like Pat Smear for being in contact with them. I will say this. Sorry, I'm off mic. I will say this. There is a Tori Amos song about Courtney Love called "Professional Widow."
Oh my God.
And the first words of that song are "slag pit stank shit." Honey, bring it close to my lips.
Whoa.
And I think people think that she had an emotional hand in it.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
But not necessarily like called someone and hired.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Did you see what Jenny did on Netflix about the murder for hire? She has her parents killed, allegedly.
Jenny?
It's a Jenny you've never met.
Oh, Jenny.
Jenny from Another Block.
Yes, what Jenny did.
Did you see that?
In my mind, I was like, Jenny Garth?
Wait, did you know that Jennifer Lopez was just at, I think, the Melrose Trading Post?
What?
This last weekend?
Really?
Yeah, she was in the wild.
I'm glad she was in the wild. I talked about it a little last week. She's having a rough time. She canceled her whole
I know,
tour.
but it's because of ticket sales.
It is because of ticket sales. And also she's like maybe going through a divorce and everyone's just shitting on her. I know she's not nice. I get it.
So Hollywood's super weird, and people, if you have to cancel something, there's always another reason, right? Than what they put out there. But how much of a head case is it? I shouldn't call her a head case, but how peculiar is it if you're like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe she is hard to do. Like, what a burden of pressure to say, oops, I can't go on tour because of my family.
Yeah.
As opposed to my ticket sales were shitty. Like, I think
yeah.
loads it up.
It does load it up. I totally agree. And then I want to go back to
throw your family
the
under
Jenny
the bus.
thing.
Jenny Garth?
What Jenny did?
Yeah. Have you watched it?
No, but I almost did. I was watching a bunch of documentaries, and that came up as a recommendation, and it was like I think it's a few episodes long.
But you need them all. Pretty much.
I just spoiled it for myself because I had so I know what happened.
Oh, okay. I mean, you kind of do.
It's crazy.
It's a crazy story, and you sort of know what's happening, but it's her own personal unfolding.
Oh.
Where it's like she seems pretty tight and like in charge of, committing fraud as far as like lying to police officers. And then she just kind of slowly gives it away. But it's really compelling. It's like she really goes in with like, I didn't do this. And she acts it the part and all this stuff. She's very cunning and smart, which I think if I had been a teenager, I would have been when I was a teenager, I probably would have been a good
If I had
murderer.
been one ever.
I was too old and grouchy to be a teenager. But
that's so funny.
yeah, teenagers are smart. They cover all the bases.
Teenagers are smart.
I'm more scared of like a teenage murderer than like an adult murderer.
Oh, yeah. Because a teenage murderer, it's like, what's happened to you that you're so fucked up already?
Focus that you want to kill.
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
Part. I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah.
But we ran out of cult documentaries to watch, so then we just started watching murder documentaries.
Have you watched 7M?
No. What is that?
The TikTok cult documentary.
Oh my God, someone just told me about this. Okay, yeah.
I have one ep left. But yes, okay, so.
I have one ep left. Have you watched Rael or Rael?
El Royale?
French. No, Rael.
Oh, no.
It's French.
Is it a doc?
Cult space doc. They're from the 70s, 80s. And they're like outer space cults. Mm-hmm. But it's just one fucking FAGGOT.
I love always.
Allegedly.
Always.
Can you bleep each letter on that?
Yeah, we got it.
Bleep. Not one long bleep. I want one for each letter.
Each letter will be bleeped.
No, we just started watching. We watched when it was like the murders of Lake Erie, and we watched like one episode and we fell asleep, and then we woke up. It was like season 4. Lake Erie has a shit ton of murders.
Wow.
And they have like so anyway.
There are so many good docs out right now.
I just want to watch about cults because I either want to be in one or start one.
Yeah, we've talked about this. What would you do if you had a cult again? Like, what would be like?
Real life.
I would make people get bangs.
Oh yeah, the
bangs cult. Like you'd have to get bangs.
That's so funny.
But you'd have to maybe start out with micro bangs.
That's abusive.
So like, you have to be abused. Is it a cult?
Yeah,
or not?
You gotta break them down.
You gotta break them down so you can build them back up.
You gotta earn these bangs.
Exactly.
Get to those. That's fucking funny.
No, like you cut the bangs and they have to stay micro until they hit the next level, and then they
have to go up. They can't be downrated.
Exactly.
Fucking pixie bangs.
And then as they get higher through the program, they can get down to like a nice bang level like this.
See, I think I would just be a straight up like a health cult or something psycho about like your eating, or like a dog cult.
I would love a puppy cult.
Right? I would like to be the cult, the like vice president. Mm-hmm. So like the dog is the leader, and I'm the one who like tells you what the dog is thinking.
Well, I feel like the vice president often is the one pulling the strings.
Totally. That.
Anyway.
Who was the lady in Wild Wild West or whatever?
Wild Wild Country.
I'm so fucking dumb. I'm my father now.
I fell asleep during Wild Wild Country quite a few times, and Mitch was like, "Why are you falling asleep?" And I was like, "There aren't enough hot people in this for me."
I can tell you why you fell asleep. Is what they're wearing.
Yes.
Is boring.
It's boring.
And it looks like a Western.
Yes.
And if anything, if I'm watching a movie that's a Western, good fucking night. I cannot keep my eye. Nobody makes Westerns anymore. Yeah. But like in the old days, in the 90s when you had TV. Yeah. Like just stations, like channels, not cable. In Saturday and Sunday, you had these inferior channels. You remember that? You had the top ones. ABC, NBC, CBS, all that shit. And then you had one knob that would connect you to these lower. Yes. And these were the double digits a lot of the time. You had like channel 33, channel 39. Yeah. And those were fuzzier, worse reception. But that's where you'd see like on a Saturday afternoon, like The Rifleman, Bonanza, Lone Ranger. And that would be all that was on TV. And it just it fucking put into my head that all Westerns are boring. Go to sleep.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I got it as well.
So yeah, they look like they're in a fucking country Western.
Yeah, it's just I kept falling asleep. I could not stay awake.
The lady is wild though. I forget who she was.
They're called the Rajneeshis, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I fell asleep.
That woman, I know.
I can't. It all blurs together. Margaret Cho really is a good reference on like she has the list of like new hot things to watch.
Oh.
So every time we get together, I have like a list. And
good.
Yeah.
Good.
But my favorite is Murder Cult.
Who's in Murder Cult?
Like a David Koresh or like a
that's not a show.
It's a niche. It's
a niche. Okay, I get that. Okay, I thought it was an actual show. I was like, what's Murder Cult? How would I not?
Your bag is so cute.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so Aries today. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
No, it's great. This is a JW Pay bag. I have it in 4 colors. All the it girlies have it. Emily Ratajkowski, Hailey Bieber, Gigi Hadid, and of course me.
Which one of those have you seen in person ever?
I haven't seen any.
Which one would you love to see?
I would love to see. Probably, I hate myself, but probably Haley.
Gigi? Oh no!
Yeah,
you do hate yourself.
I
Yes,
know.
you do. Why?
Actually, Emrata would be cool to see just because her body is so sick.
Oh,
Her body is like insane.
Have you had the Hailey Bieber Air one?
No, because it wasn't vegan. I got the Poosh Air one.
There's a Poosh.
Oh my god,
smoothie.
You missed the Poosh smoothie.
It was a.
They're all special, so all the celebrities do like a special.
So it's not
collab.
They don't have.
You
it
could
forever?
probably ask for it off menu, but it was like it was vegan.
Do you know how much dignity it would take for me to lose to go? Are y'all still serving the Poosh smoothie?
Can I get a Poosh smoothie?
And then when they tell me no,
or
worse, what is that?
When I dressed up as Courtney for my, it was while the Poosh smoothie was happening, and I got a cup and I filled it up because it was black and white. That was the whole thing.
Okay.
It was because obviously she's like goth or whatever.
Yeah.
I cut out a piece of paper so that it looked and like colored it.
Hilarious.
So it looked like the Poosh smoothie. And Poosh, when I tagged them in my costume, really liked it. They were like, "Oh my god, the smoothie."
Did you? It was an empty cup though.
It was an empty cup. I cleaned it out and then I put just like a piece of paper with like swirled black and white, so it just looked like it was.
One time, my friend and I, we had fake cigarette. Okay, a piece of paper that we rolled up and with a highlighter colored the filter in orange.
Okay.
And then with Scotch tape went around it to keep it tight. And all night we're smoking our fake paper cigarettes with no smoke, and all kinds of weird Halloween parties. Everyone's like, "Hey, do you have one I can bomb?" I'm like,
my god!
Are you kidding me?
You guys did
Are
good.
you high? No, they were huge. They looked like blunts.
Oh, that's so funny.
People are dumb.
You know what I've been smoking out of lately? Because I get I get so much free weed from my shows that I run with Josh at the Comedy Store. You should drop by and do a spot sometime.
Anytime. Call me.
We have a bunch of weed sponsors. I literally last week was going through a backpack in my closet, like looking for something, and I find just this like huge whole bag, probably like hundreds of dollars worth of weed, just like tucked away in the closet. Like,
and you
joints.
moved
and
recently,
I moved exactly, and it's like joints, rolling papers. But you know what they gave us this last month were cones. Have you heard of cones?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
They're made of rose petals, though.
Yes.
Like, so I was smoking the past few days out of a fucking rose petal.
There was a comedy show that was sponsored by weed, and they were rose petal joints.
Yeah.
And they someone was rolling them there.
Oh, interesting.
They were littles.
Are you good at rolling joints?
Fuck no.
Yeah, me neither.
So when I was a cigarette smoker, I was like, I'll just roll my own cigarettes, and I'll get so tired of that, I'll quit.
Yeah.
Which was a lie. I fucking rolled them and was so bad at it that I just, out of frustration, I was like, I have to smoke, so I went and bought them again.
Yeah.
And weed the same way. I don't like paraphernalia. Even though I showed up with 2 bags, a dog, a coffee, and all this shit, I honestly don't like stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I just miss smoking, so I only smoke pre-rolls that are like
I
that.
love pre-rolls. They're so easy.
Well, I feel like I'm a housewife just sitting at home smoking.
Me too. That's why I like them too, even though they are way more expensive. And I have so much flour and so many rolling papers that at this point I'm like, I've got to roll some joints before all this free weed like just dries up and expires.
You need the guy that Snoop Dogg has, that he employs exclusively to roll.
I think his name is Mitch.
It's his uncle though, I thought, right? Or
no,
it's
I'm
like
joking. My guy is Mitch.
Is he okay? See, that's the thing. My boyfriend doesn't smoke.
Mitch can roll a good joint.
Oh, yeah.
But Snoop has a guy that's like on his table.
Job.
That's just his job. I mean, that makes sense. Snoop smokes so much weed.
I've been within reach, very close to 3 musicians' tour buses. Loretta Lynn, Willie Nelson, Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Loretta Lynn's, we were kicked off immediately because we didn't belong on there. We walked up and my friend goes, "Who are you?" And we ran out. But Snoop and Willie Nelson both, you could see the smoke coming out of the door. It was like a cartoon.
Yeah. No, it's comical.
It was amazing.
It's so great. It's what you want.
It was exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
Which it was like so, and we never even saw Snoop, but Willie Nelson just
see this cloud.
Yes, but when Willie Nelson came out of it, he literally like came out of like a cloud of smoke.
That's so cool.
He signed a $1 bill of mine.
That's amazing. I know his granddaughter.
What?
I've done her podcast before. What's
really her story?
Cool. She lives in Nashville. She's a singer and does a podcast. She's really cool.
I'm a piano player and I'm a fucking snob about it. And the best pianos in the world are Bösendorfers. They're Austrian. They take like a year to make. It's like 6 figures to get the best.
Wow.
The best are like $250,000.
Holy shit.
But they're beautiful. Willie Nelson's studio in Austin, Texas has a Bösendorfer. It's like the third best. So it's 7 feet long and they have extra notes, all this bullshit. And I knew that as an 18-year-old when I moved to Austin, Texas, and I called and lied through my teeth and they let me come in. I remember being out there in the parking lot with my pipe and my weed. I was like, what if I run into Willie? Which I didn't. But they let my dumbass. I was saying I'm a musician. I need to test drive the piano before I can commit to recording there and sign a contract. So I got all the way to the limit of like getting a date set and lied about all my stuff just so I could like test drive the piano for 30 minutes.
They let you in and you played it?
I sure did. And then I said, I'll be in touch. And I never called them again. But just so I could play it. Mm-hmm.
And was it amazing?
It was breathtaking, but it was like, it was weird because they're just standing there watching me. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Do you like it?
How old were you?
18.
Oh my God,
they
ballsy.
had to know I was full of shit. I know.
Ballsy.
And now I'm old and scared.
Isn't it crazy how when you're young, you're just like fucking fearless?
I think, okay, so when you're talking about getting your dog and day one, you're like, did I make a mistake?
Yeah.
I 1000% was like driving home. I'm like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
It's like, I just changed fucking everything.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But then meanwhile, here it is. All it is this.
So cutie.
Yeah. All it is him.
He's so cutie.
Right?
Are you going to bring him with you?
On tour?
On tour and stuff?
In life, I want to. On tour with Margaret, I'm like, that's her show, her dog, her thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to show. That's crazy.
And you have a boyfriend, so.
Yeah, it can be taken care of.
Yeah.
It also just changes the energy.
Yeah.
Like, hello, we were just here and he's all over the place. It's like, come on. It's like, I don't want to introduce that. But in life, I want him to go. He's already been to, like, the post office, the weed store, 2 museums.
Oh, my God. Did he go to Kordansky?
Yes.
Wait, let's talk about that.
That was his second museum.
Oh, my God.
Obsessed, which, by the way, sorry we couldn't go. I would love to have gone with you
guys. David Kordansky Gallery is a spot here in LA that Mitch and Daniel have talked about how they like it a lot. And we've talked about going to a show. What's it? Is it a...
Is David Altmej?
Yes.
Is that artist in particular? Me and Mitch related about.
Liked. Yes.
But / my boyfriend and I did too when we first met. We brought up both the museum and that particular exhibit.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, I love you. You know,
he's
that sort
so
of
cool.
But yeah, it's one of the best museums I think in the country. They have a New York one.
I didn't know they had a New York one.
The one here is I prefer it, but and London as well.
Nice.
Anyway, but this exhibit is just this dude. How would you? He's Canadian.
Yeah, so it's these statues, or not sculptures.
Sculpture, yeah.
It's like statues.
It is, yeah.
But it's these sculptures
busts
that are like
psychedelic,
just psychedelic cool. They're like bedazzled gemstones on them. They're like weird,
humanoid.
Yeah, they're like human but weird and a little alien like, and also a little unfinished feeling.
Yeah,
like
raw.
He does little doodles on them.
Yep,
and and then he uses fucking hair.
Really? Yeah,
it's so cool.
Did you see it was just the head on the wall.
Yeah,
and it had all the like amethyst crystals
coming
out of
the neck. Yeah, like it's like this mixed media sculpture kind of thing.
We go resourcing or whatever you call that. You take something and put it somewhere else.
Oh.
I'm so stupid.
A resourcing.
I'm all talking about, I can name you like every strand of weed I've smoked. I know, but I can't think of anything else.
I also liked what the girl, did you look at the paintings?
Yeah, I was into her too. Yeah.
I liked her shit too. Lucy Bull? Lucy.
No, Lucille Ball is that. Lucy Bull? Bell.
Is it Lucy Bell?
I don't fucking remember.
We'll find the names, but she was great.
Yeah, I loved
her shit too. And I talk about taking mushrooms a lot on this podcast.
They're good for you.
They're good for you. I'm mostly talking about a microdose. I have never fully like tripped. But
ever?
No. I've never completely tripped. No, I've been too scared to. But no, I know Mitch really wants me to.
Have we not talked about this? This is important.
This is important.
Okay.
But for this gallery, I had the day off. I randomly didn't have a show that night. It was a Saturday, which is like, you know,
Never
it's
happens,
like to have a Saturday off as a comic is very rare.
Totally.
So I was like, I'm going to make this a day. So one of my guy who does the mushroom capsules for me, the microdoses, gave me a little thing of like 5 capsules that were not a full, each one, if I'd taken all 5 of them together, it would have been a full trip, but each one is, I think, like 600 milligrams. So it's a little more than like,
I love when people talk drugs and numbers at the same time. I'm like, I understand mushrooms and like capsules, but if you're giving me milligrams, I feel high.
So I'm so neurotic. I'm like, I know so much about the numbers. That's like, I know about because I want to know like what to expect.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's basically, I took like 5 to 6 times what I normally take.
Wow.
Again, it would be like slightly higher than a microdose, like the lowest, like regular dose.
3 grams is my magic number.
Okay, so this is like a little less than 1 gram.
Okay, yeah. 3, I'm set.
Okay, great. You're like Mitch. Mitch is like hero's dose only, you know?
Yeah. I'm not trying to like, I don't want to be hospitalized. I don't need other people to take care of me.
Yeah.
But I want like walls bleeding.
Yeah.
I want my money's worth.
I know. I wish it had been bleeding a little bit, but I will say on the way over, like it really started hitting, and then I got in and I was just like, the paintings are shiny, like, and so it was so cool, and I think that's part of why I liked the green dude. Because
normally not in that whole room.
Yeah.
I would say least attracted to.
Yes.
Me personally.
I don't know why. You guys, there was a guy. I put him up on my Instagram story. If any of you saw it, I put up a couple pictures from this gallery. Mitch and I went a couple weeks ago. But he's like this creepy looking green
Crypt keeper, yeah.
Yes, crypt keeper looking guy. But he's this beautiful mint color, bedazzled gems on him, has these beautiful blue eyes that literally stared into my soul.
Wow.
And then he's like bald on top and long gray hair and a lab coat, and he's like crossed his arms. And I was like, I took him in. He was talking to me. Like, I felt a connection.
Oh, yeah.
So that one was my favorite, even though I was surprised because there was the gorgeous orca girl with the ponytail and the diamond.
Orca girl who had that huge diamond. I was hypnotized.
Yeah.
So here's my problem is if I'm on drugs, you know it. It's so obvious. I cannot fucking hide it. And truly, like, I'm a downer, not an upper. So, like, weed and mushrooms is kind of where I keep it.
Yeah.
Anytime I've, like, tried other things.
Yeah.
I've had friends be like, "Stop mashing your jaw." Like, you know,
oh my
like
God.
I'm a giveaway.
Hilarious.
Total give up the game. But Kordansky, the first time I went there, I was by myself. And I related to this one piece so hardcore that I was like, I need to be on something, and I really want to stare at it. So I have done that.
Yeah.
I literally went back and got like a shit ton of gummies. And then waited, and then went back just to look at that painting because I knew it would animate it.
It's cool.
I knew it would take it to another
place.
But you got to get a little deeper with mushrooms. They're
so
fun.
I know. I need to.
Have you had the word like? Because to me, mentally, it'll like reset your brain.
Yeah. Look, I feel have had that, and just taking the micro doses because I take them like several times a week.
Several times a day.
No, I take them all the time whenever I feel like it. No, I'll take like more than one in a day. Like I'll take maybe, oh my God, this is so funny. So, and I haven't talked about this on the podcast, and this is a little bit of a downer, but it's a funny story. So my grandfather, Pops.
Okay, but this is perfect.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
So you guys, Pops, if you've seen my Instagram story, Pops did pass away, unfortunately, last week. He was almost 97. He lived a really good life. But a couple weeks ago, I was in town for this TV festival and some shows. And so on one of the days, my day off, I had like 2 days off. I was there for like 9 days, and I had like 1 or 2 full days off. So I just grabbed 3 of the micro capsules and like chucked, I was like, oh, this will be fine, whatever. For whatever reason, I think the thing with capsules is you don't know if you're getting like stems or caps. Like you just, so you don't really know how they're going to hit you.
Real mushrooms are the same, by the way. It's like every time I'm like, do you want caps or stems? I'm like, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm going to be lit.
That's how I feel with indica versus sativa.
Same.
I'm like, there's no difference. We're just getting stoned.
Fuck you, yeah.
So I throw 3 in, and then like, I'm like, do. And then all of a sudden, my aunt's like, okay, we're going to go see Pops now. And suddenly it starts hitting so fucking hard, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like mildly, it's hitting as hard as it did when I took the amount that I did at Kordansky.
So
I'm like, oh my God.
And there's an anxiety when mushrooms kick in.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is anxious.
It is. It's anxious. And like every time it happens, I'll just tell Mitch I'm feeling a little anxious. But Mitch isn't here. I'm literally with my aunt, my cousin, my family. They're cool, but like I don't want to be like,
they're not high.
I'm taking mushrooms at 11 a.m. on a Monday. So I'm like, okay, let me grab my bag.
So
I know. So I go grab my bag and I'm like, oh my God, I'm texting Mitch. He's not answering. And then my cousin, my 19-year-old cousin, Carly, who has been on a Patreon episode of Glitter and Garbage. Some of you know her. I tell her, Betsy's like getting her keys, my aunt. And I'm like, Carly, I took drugs.
Oh, no.
I'm on drugs. I was like, someone needs to know. I'm like, I'm on so many mushrooms right now. And she was like, oh my God. She's like, everything's fine. So we get to my grandfather's like home and I had the most beautiful, I was sobbing.
Yep.
I was so emotional and I think it allowed me to get more emotional than I would have otherwise.
Yep.
I did go back the next day sober and see him then as well. So my last time seeing him was not wild on mushrooms.
It would have been okay if it was.
It was. It really was like the most beautiful. And I was just like sobbing and we had this a couple really like meaningful moments. And I'm going to like tear up right now.
No, it's okay.
But,
it's okay.
Yeah.
I have two grandfathers, both dead.
Yeah.
It's okay to be sad about it. Alive on person, it's okay.
Yeah.
One, my first grandfather died on my birthday.
Oh my God.
When I was like 12, right?
Yeah.
Drama City.
Yeah.
But the other grandfather I shared a birthday with, right? So one dies on my birthday, the other one is born on my birthday, whatever, obviously before me.
Yeah.
Okay, picture it. 2003, April 26th. I'm going to see Tori Amos.
Of course.
And so I take a bag full of mushrooms with
Oh my
me.
God.
Honestly, one of the best things ever. It was like, when you have like really good seats, it's kind of my favorite thing about mushrooms. One of my favorite things is if you're doing exactly what you want to do and you're like, there's nowhere else.
Yeah.
There's no distraction.
Yeah.
And that could be under a tree, right?
Yeah.
Mushrooms can really get simple.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it was one of those nights where I was like, there's really nowhere else I want to be right now,
Yeah.
which I know is a joke to most people.
Yeah.
So, and I'm with my friend and we're tripping and then we go home. This is in Austin, Texas. There's a beautiful venue called The Backyard that doesn't exist anymore. Literally in the woods. And so we go home and then we're hanging out and then the mushrooms kind of fade and my friend leaves and I'm home alone and I'm realizing that like I'm still kind of tripping. If you smoke weed, it kind of reactivates you, right? It'll animate. And so like, I'm just like, I love mushrooms. It's my favorite thing. And I'm going to listen to some music. I'm going to put headphones on and just go to sleep and just like ride this out.
Right.
Love mushrooms.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking over to my stereo and it's April in Texas. And all of a sudden I feel the coldest air in this spot in my apartment. And AC is not on. Nothing's happening. No windows are open. It's just ice cold. And I'm high. But I walk forward, warm. I walk back, cold. And so, because I'm high, I'm like, I'm just going to sit in this.
Right.
So I sit there with my eyes closed, and I'm totally tripping. But I have this since an aunt had just died. But she was more of a friend than an aunt, right? So I get this vision of these mountains growing out of my shoulders. And the mountains are saying, we're your family. Sometimes we're your family. And sometimes we're like Shirley, who's like not blood, but we're all still part of this like mountain range.
Yeah.
And I'm just like having all these wordless, all of this is kind of silently being spoken to me. My hands are out. My hands get really heavy. And I just sit there and then it passes. I'm like, whoa. And then the air's warm again. And I put my headphones on and I go to sleep. And then my dad calls at like 7 a.m. Anytime my dad calls versus my mom, it means someone died.
Right.
Especially early.
7 a.m.
So my grandfather, who shared my birthday, he was in like a nursing home, but he wasn't on like red alert or anything like that. When the nurse checked on him at 3, he was alive. When the nurse checked on him at 4, he was dead. And my friend left at like 3. And I was high in my apartment somewhere between 3 and 4.
Oh my God.
And I totally think that was him.
Yeah.
And I think if only it was the mushrooms that made me stop, recognize what the hell was happening, listen to that feeling, which I've never had, right? Yeah. I've never had something that powerful. And then to be confirmed with the fact that someone very much related to me had just like left us in that window of time. So I totally think it's
cool.
You were accessing something in that moment.
Yeah.
You weren't just this radical, oh, I'm high thing.
Yeah.
Those were deeper level emotions.
I think so.
existing in a space that only you could see.
Yeah, totally. It was crazy because he was in hospice at this point, and we were all like, you know, we put on like some music, Frank Sinatra, and
Hell
like,
yeah.
I'm in heaven. And we were like, he had the best fucking attitude about it, though. Let me tell you, I'm sitting here sobbing.
So
Isn't that funny? He's the funniest.
Yeah, that's great.
He's so fucking funny. I'm going to miss him so much.
Yep.
But I'm
great.
like sobbing, and he's just in his bed, like tapping his toes, and he sees I'm sobbing. And he goes, hey, none of that.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, just
it's okay.
thinking
It's okay.
about, I'm
it's
like,
okay.
But
It's okay.
yeah.
My uncle was super dead.
Yeah.
He had cancer. I've never seen this happen before ever. He had cancer and it was so bad.
Yeah.
We drove to Houston to say goodbye.
Yeah.
But then he just kept living. But he was not okay. You know,
Yeah.
he got skinnier and skinnier. It was I've never seen someone in that condition.
Yeah.
But he was alive so long, it felt weird to not go back.
Right.
And be like, hey, he's still here. We should really cash in on that time.
Yeah.
So we did. And at that point is when it became the joke. Is because his wife, who is going through hell, she has to sell the house and she has to do all this shit, but he's still alive.
Right.
And they're having this conversation and he's in this medical chair, right?
Right.
And she's like, the chair's so expensive. I want to get the money back, you know, because it's like $1,000 chair, all this bullshit. And they're a bickering husband and wife couple, and they always were. And he just sits there in his fucking medical chair. He goes, if you don't sell this damn chair soon, you're going to have to sell me in it. Because he's like, my dead body's going to be here. He's like, if you don't sell the house, soon, you're going to have to explain what the dead body's doing in the corner. Yeah. And he was making all these kind of jokes and not normally that funny of a person, but he was killing it.
Yeah.
Like, on his way out.
Yeah.
Funny.
I love it.
So funny.
Yeah. That's how, look, it really is a lesson in like, hey, not being, like, just accept like, hey, this is happening to everyone. This happens. And just like fearless and enjoying life to the very end.
This absolutely happened. No exaggeration, no hyperbole. I did this whole long goodbye. You've been a great uncle, and I just everything. Thank you, and like meant everything, and it was so sad. And me was having my moment, right? Was like walking out, backing out of the room, like this is not everything.
Yeah.
And then literally got to my car. I was like, oh fuck, I left my sunglasses.
Oh my God.
1,000% went back. I was like, Uncle Marshall. I was like, I forgot these.
That's so funny.
Bye. And
that literally happened. I left my purse at Pops's. I went back the next day, but I had to. And Betsy, my aunt, has like a video, and then we'll wrap up because we all gotta get out of here. But like,
because we're all gonna die.
We get back, and I'm like, I don't have my purse. I don't know what's like. I'm on drugs, so I.
Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm fucked up. I'm on drugs, and I left my purse at Pops's. So we call because Betsy had like a video thing. So basically, like it was like iPad set up, and she could just like drop in and like have a view of him. So like she's like, Alexa, drop in on Len Marino. So we look in, and we're looking at his room, and we're like, Pops, is my purse there? And he's like, no. And we're like, it's right on the table, like we can see it. So I had to go back and get it, and then we went back the next day, and it was a really nice last time to see him. He put on a cowboy hat that Betsy had gotten him, and he went to the dining room.
Live it, and that's a big deal.
Yeah,
that's a huge deal.
Yeah, because he hadn't left his room in a while. So I'm glad that I got to see him and spend some time with him. Obviously, would have liked to spend more time with him, but what can you do? It is crazy though.
Crazy.
When I called, because I got a call, and it was like, Pops is not doing well, and I was like, oh. And I'm like talking, I'm like, oh, I'm talking about other shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's in the hospital, whatever. Like, you really do kind of think that people will be here forever. Yeah. And then we hang up, and I'm like, wait, how much time does he have? She's like, he might go today or tomorrow. And I go, oh, my goodbye was like, I was talking about other shit. Yeah. And so I call back and do the like, the real one. The real one, which is like so tough.
It's definitely hard. I regret one time my mom kind of gave me a heads up. She's like, your grandma's not doing that well, but she was kind of lost in dementia. Yeah. So she was like, I understand if you don't want to go and engage with all that, just to say like a goodbye or whatever that isn't there. And I didn't. Yeah. And I totally regret that.
I've done that.
I totally.
I've had that as well with other grandparents.
I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah. I thought I was kind of doing them like an honor of being like, oh, I don't want to see him messy. I was like, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, I
so insane.
Totally agree. And if I had been able to get back in time, I would have done that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
At the same time, they were like, it's too late. You know what I mean?
I by the time I was 30, I'd been to 30 funerals. I've been around a lot of death.
You're like 27 dresses, but like a dude going to funerals.
We quit counting at 30. I'm 42, so people don't stop dying.
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
it's been quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I've been through lots. I think I'm a little too casual with it, and I think that's one example of it, because I do think I'll just fucking see you later anyway.
Yeah.
But my biggest question is now in this century, because I know so many dead people, and I'm sure you do too. Do you unfollow your dead friends? What's the protocol? What do you do?
Completely.
What do you do?
Honestly, I've had this thought so many times because I do have quite a few dead friends
that I still follow.
And I look, and other people are still following them, and I don't want to be like the one that unfollow. I don't want to unfollow Pops, right. You know, like after. So, you guys, what do you think?
What do you do?
What
do you
do?
Unfollow your dead friends?
What is the protocol?
Because the worst thing is, what if a family member's running the account and they see that maybe I unfollowed them and now I'm refollowing them posthumously? Yeah. That is the creeper.
That's
move.
Creepy, yeah.
Creeper number one.
Yeah, like what do you expect to happen?
Or even worse, because something new like Threads has come out.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what their friend's suggesting? Several dead people. Follow this person. I'm like, follow them into the grave? What the fuck do you mean?
Follow them to the beyond.
They're literally dead,
yeah.
Yes. So I didn't.
Yeah, I don't. So you're still following I'm still following. I've never unfollowed a dead person.
I've never unfollowed a dead person, but if you're dead, I'm not gonna follow you on a new platform.
If you're dead and you pop up on Threads, you're not getting a follow.
Fuck you. Yeah, I cannot. Yeah. I can't. I'm spread too thin.
I agree with that. I'm like, that's the other thing is like, people, I'll meet them one time and they'll be like, oh, follow me back. And I'm like, I don't want to follow everyone that I fucking meet. I just can't.
No, it's also that. But I look at people like John Marco. He follows like 10,000 people. I'm like, well, there's that too.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who follow a lot of people. But I'm like, then I'm seeing all these other people.
It's so hard because none of that matters to me until the minute I remember that Darcy from the Smashing Pumpkins, the bassist, is my friend on Facebook.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if that means anything to anybody else, but that
means so much. I feel like I can't believe you've waited so long to tell me that.
It's like the medal of my life. I met Cyndi Lauper 2 nights ago, but Darcy from the Smashing Pumpkins is my friend on Facebook.
I mean, that's so cool.
And that actually wins.
That's so cool.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being on. I'll have you soon. Lammy, thanks for being here. You fell asleep the second half, but it's okay.
Thank God. That way we could really focus on trashing dead people.
Yeah, we could. You guys, this has been so fun. Also, happy Pride.
Oh, oops, yeah.
Yeah, Pride was on the docket as well.
Happy Pride. It's okay. I'll be gay next time, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll still be gay.
It's always Pride with you all.
Exactly.
Yeah. You guys, we'll see you next time. Follow Daniel at the Daniel Webb.
Daniel Webb _ somewhere.
And go see him on tour with Margaret Cho.
TheDanielWebb.com.
And in Ohio, I'm doing, I think, the Columbus Comedy Festival.
Oh, cool. Columbus is cool.
August 16th.
Watch out
one
for
show.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll get the details correct next time, you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me on as your host.
No, yes.
Okay. Bye, you guys.
Bye.